Welcome to the Get Trauma Informed podcast, dedicated to unraveling the complexities of trauma, its pervasive impact, and the journey towards holistic recovery and realignment. If your radiance has ever felt muted, like I and thousands of others, you're in the right place to reignite your inner light. I'm your host, Wellness Coach Liz Blanding, and this is the Get Trauma Informed podcast. Well, hello, and welcome to the Get Trauma Informed podcast. On today's episode, we are more in the teaching mode because I'm a firm believer that in order to rebuild or recover, first we must become aware, right? And once we become aware that we have suffered from trauma, we need to also continue to move forward to see how has that affected me? How does it affect my everyday? How does it affect my decisions? How does it affect my financial how do I see finances, my financial bottom line, right? So we're going to share this episode on a plethora of our platforms. And so you may be just a little bit different than what you're normally accustomed to on our podcast. But we're also going to put this in as a lesson in our Rebirth of Him and Rebirth of Her program, which is a program that assists and supports in the trauma recovery, but also in financial recovery, because financial oppression and financial lack is also a form of trauma because your stress hormone is always on. So you may react or respond in a different manner because you're on that, you're stressed, your body is tense, right? So when we are lacking in our finances or even the financial education, because we can put a pile of money in front of you, and if you still are using the same thought processes that you used to get where you are financially right now, if you're still using that same thought process, then you're going to stay stuck. So our programs are designed to assist you and help you to throw it all, get rid of it, right? Get rid of everything, wipe your slate clean, start on a firm foundation with experts that can assist you to get there, that have actually paved the way, that have actually, what they're showing you and what we're teaching is something that we've gone through. So you're meeting coaches that have lived the experience and that are professional, meaning that they're certified and they understand how to coach you into achieving your goals. So we're going to talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This is his psychological theory, which suggests that humans' needs are organized in a hierarchy of 5 levels. And his 5 levels is psychological, safety, love, belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. Let's break those down just a little bit. You might say, well, why do I need to know this? Because this, when I understood and I studied this theory, it helped me to understand why you are oftentimes, especially when you're in trauma recovery, you feel like you're digging out of quicksand and it keeps dragging you back. You get a little bit more and it drags you back. That's because we have that emotional baggage on our shoulder. And if we have not walked through it and got that trauma up and out, it keeps appearing, and it appears in our decisions. It appears in our sleep patterns or our dreams. It appears in our relationships. We have two people that are working through their trauma or that are not, and they're attempting to have a healthy relationship. But I read a book a long time ago, and it talked about 2 broke eggs when you're going through a divorce, and you have all this tension because you have 2 cracked eggs and you're trying to make this whole omelet, this healthy omelet, and it's impossible if you're not working through your own stuff, if you're not doing your own work. So let's talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs here. Okay, so we're talking about the psychological need of breathing, food, water, sex, sleep, homeostasis, and erection, right? And so we're talking about, these are our basic human needs. And when those needs are not fulfilled, and I'll go back to, if they're not fulfilled, then you have a break in your foundation, right? And so, and even when I want to go back to the point when they say sex being a human need, right? And it is, and we know that it depends on your like your convictions, like how do you see that, and are you doing you having sex with somebody just because you're looking to please them, or is it in a healthy confines of a relationship, of a marriage, of whatever that is? And that's a whole nother conversation. But I just wanted to point that part out. When they talk about it being a human need, it is, and it is as it being addressed. We want to talk about Let's talk a little bit about safety, right? Safety, security of the body, employment, resources, morality, the family, health, and property, right? Again, basic need. And as we climb up, we see how if any of those needs are not addressed, then we have a break in the foundation. Okay, love and belonging, friendship, family, sexual intimacy. Again, there we go with that, with the sexual intimacy, and how do you see it, and what are your convictions around it, right? Esteem, self-esteem, confidence, achievement, respect of others, respect by others, right? And then self-actualization. In self-actualization, we talk about morality, creativity, spontaneity, problem solving, lack of prejudice, and acceptance of facts. Oftentimes, when we are in trauma, or where we haven't walked through our trauma recovery to get to the recovery side of it, acceptance of facts is skewed because we're looking at our own frame of reference, and we're not allowing new information or new perspective in. And we think that it is right and it feels right to us. However, I beg to differ that you're not, when you're not recovered, that you are actually looking through the trauma lens, which is skewed. So your reality may not be the reality. So when we talk a little bit more about Maslow's hierarchy of needs and his psychological theory, we talked about the different levels, right? Now, the theory suggests that people are motivated by the fulfillment of these needs, and that each level must be sufficiently met before moving on to the next level. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is often depicted as a pyramid, with the most basic needs at the bottom and the most achieved needs at the top. I'm sorry, achieving those needs. It's actually the most advanced needs at the top. Let me repeat that. So his theory is depicted in a pyramid with the most basic needs at the bottom and the most advanced needs at the top. Maslow's theory has been applied in a variety of fields, including education, including child development, healthcare, and business management. Maslow argues that failing to meet needs at various stages of the hierarchy can lead to, listen to this very carefully, because when those needs aren't met, it can lead to illness, particularly mental health issues. For example, people whose psychological needs are not met, they may die or become extremely ill. So all of this ties in together when we talk about our success, when we talk about achieving, when we talk about, in our new program, Rebirth of Him and Rebirth of Her, we concentrate heavy on building a foundation to where you can utilize profit to gain assets, right? Again, I'll say that profit, using your profit and profit to gain assets instead of using your money from your pocket. So we say profit to profit. We use those to create assets and to help us to balance out our foundation. So I hope in this mini trauma recovery talk, you were able to pick up where you are. And that's why, again, at Oasis Wellness CTRS, if you come on over there, the Rebirth of Him, Rebirth of Her program is absolutely free. And we also offer a small business gift to get you going, right? So we are really attempting to free you in the financial stress so that you can really work on what is ailing you in the trauma world. All righty. I hope this has been helpful. And I look forward to seeing you over in the Rebirth of Her, Rebirth of Him program on Oasis Wellness, CTRS.com. There's plenty of resources available, and there is no obligation to move forward. We just want to be able to be that assistance, that support, and that hand up. All righty. I'll see you soon. Bye for now. It's time to buckle up. No more suffering in silence. Our Power Pack journey to recovery and realignment starts now. Remember, you were collateral damage on someone else's warpath. Trauma is not your fault. Recovery, however, is your responsibility. I'm your host, wellness coach Liz Blanding, and this is the Get Trauma Informed podcast.